I never thought the day would unravel the way it did. The kitchen, a place that had always been my sanctuary where I could escape, think, and create, became the setting for the most shocking moment of my life. I was stirring a pot of soup, lost in the rhythm of my routine when I heard a voice behind me. It was my nephew Jason calling my name in a tone I had never heard before. Low, deliberate, and charged with something I couldn't quite place. I turned, a smile already forming, but it froze midway as I caught the expression on his face. It wasn't the playful, mischievous look I was used to. There was something serious, almost intense in his eyes. My heartbeat quickened. "Is everything okay?" I asked, trying to steady my voice. He hesitated, his hands fidgeting with the edge of his hoodie. "Auntie, I need to tell you something." There it was again, that tone, a mix of urgency and hesitation. My stomach churned, and I set the ladle down, giving him my full attention. "What is it, Jason?" He stepped closer, and for a moment, the space between us felt electric. My instincts told me to brace myself. I can't keep this to myself anymore," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Keep what?" I asked, my pulse pounding in my ears. His hesitation was unbearable, and the silence stretched out like a taut string ready to snap. I've been feeling something," he began, his words faltering. "Something I know I shouldn't." My mind raced, trying to piece together what he was saying. Before I could respond, he continued, his voice trembling now. "It's been eating me up inside, Auntie. Every time I see you, every time we talk, I feel it. And I know it's wrong, but I can't stop it." The air in the room seemed to thin. I took a step back, my hand instinctively reaching for the counter to steady myself. "Jason, what are you talking about?" He met my eyes, and the raw emotion in his gaze made my breath catch. "I'm in love with you," he said, the words tumbling out like a confession. I've tried to ignore it, to push it away, but it's always there. I don't expect you to feel the same, but I had to tell you. I couldn't keep pretending. My world tilted, the weight of his words crashing down on me like a tidal wave. 1,000 thoughts swirled in my mind, each one more chaotic than the last. How had I not seen this? How had things reached this point without me realizing it? "Jason," I said, my voice firmer now, This isn't right. You know that, don't you?" He nodded, tears brimming in his eyes. "I know, but I can't control how I feel. I just needed you to know. I'm sorry if I've made you uncomfortable." Uncomfortable didn't even begin to describe what I was feeling. I was shocked, confused, and overwhelmed all at once. But beneath all that, I felt a pang of sympathy for him. He was young, clearly grappling with emotions he didn't fully understand. I couldn't be harsh, but I needed to be clear. "Jason, listen to me," I said, stepping closer but keeping a respectful distance. "What you're feeling, it's not love. It's a crush, maybe even admiration, but it's not the kind of love you think it is, and it's not something we can entertain. Do you understand?" He nodded again, his shoulders slumping. "I understand. I needed to tell you so I could move on. I don't want this to ruin anything between us." I placed a hand on his shoulder, hoping to convey the compassion I felt despite the awkwardness of the situation. "It won't. But we need to put this behind us and move forward. You're family, Jason, and that bond is what matters most." He gave me a weak smile, wiping at his eyes. "Thank you, Auntie. I'll work on it. I promise." As he left the kitchen, the tension in the air seemed to dissipate, but the weight of the moment lingered. I turned back to the stove, trying to process what had just happened. The soup simmered quietly, a stark contrast to the storm that had just passed. In the days that followed, things slowly returned to normal. Jason kept his promise, keeping his distance and gradually finding his footing. We never spoke of that moment again, but it served as a turning point, a reminder of the complexities of human emotions and the strength it takes to navigate them.